Welcome. Thank you for attending this demo of custom websites. My name is Joseph Barnes and I am the founder of Longhorn Software Solutions. Today we're going to take a look at different types of custom websites including static hosted sites and information systems. What are custom websites? Custom websites can be anything from a static site with unchanging files to a robust management information system. They project the image of the company or provide valuable tools to help orchestrate decisions or work. Examples can include websites that provide information about a company and its products, sites with online stores that include shopping carts, sites that display work orders with driving directions for a field technician, or sites that have troubleshooting tools that allow a user to reboot their router. Custom websites typically have user analytics and are optimized for search engines. They may also have embedded components that are dynamic. A common theme is to have analytics to monitor what pages are visited. We use Google Analytics for this purpose and it provides details about a user's interactions with the site. For decision makers, it could be a valuable tool to gain insights about what customers like, where they are from, and peak times for visits. You can also have dynamic components hosted in a static page, such as this Facebook feed. It is embedded into the site and does not have any back-end logic to render. This is helpful when you want to minimize costs and have fresh content on your site without having to worry about storage or logic to create the component. Some examples of these types of components are Stripe products and checkout, YouTube videos, or a profile feed from LinkedIn. This list is not exclusive by any means, and we can embed any vendor-provided component that's available. Static websites are the most inexpensive. They simply display messages the company wants to convey. A static site does not need an application server as it does not have back-end logic. A static site can be hosted from a folder on your computer or a publicly accessible location such as an Amazon S3 bucket. Websites are the company's resume for products and services. A static site is your resume. Just like employers evaluate candidates, consumers evaluate companies they are considering for products and services. They read to see what you offer, how much it costs, and turnaround time for delivery. In today's society, they are essential for attracting new customers. How do your customers find you? When I want to find something, I Google it. If you're not searchable in Google, then you don't exist. The virtual world has caught up to the real world, and for customers to find you, they need to be able to search for you. Consumers tend to search you out, compare your products with competition, then make a decision. People expect for things to be easy and, to compete, you need to make it easy for them. Dynamic websites and information systems. These type of websites enhance productivity, save money, and drive sales. Examples include transaction processing systems, such as billing and invoicing systems or credit decision support system, management information systems. They provide historical information and reports. Knowledge management systems. They provide wikis and document sharing. Customer relationship management is used to better understand customers It allows you to track your customer interactions with your business. Decision support systems help you to make a decision under rapidly changing circumstances. An example would be a healthcare information system to provide diagnosis and treatment options. Executive support systems. They allow insights into trends and help to make strategic decisions. Enterprise resource planning. These systems handle all aspects of your business from the initial order to delivery. Supply chain management. Those systems manage the flow of products, including ordering raw materials, manufacturing, and delivery to the customer. In most organizations, one or many of these types of systems are integrated together to enhance decision making and productivity. Let's look at a real world example. Lighthouse of Praise is a small church in Corsicana, Texas. They needed a way to make dynamic updates, accept and monitor offerings, track church membership, and send notifications to the congregation. They also needed public and private access following the principle of least privilege, meaning roles and responsibilities determine access level. The church wanted high availability as they are preparing for growth. Let's look at the architecture, design, and functionality. The church had concerns about availability and wanted to ensure the application was accessible. We chose to use a Spring Boot microservice architecture with a Postgres database running on Amazon Web Services. We created the following applications: front end, communications, tithe, and membership. The front end application is the user interface and is exposed to the world. The other applications are back-end applications and only exposed in the subnet. Here is an illustration of those topics. From what we see here, we have availability zone A, availability zone B. Here are the four applications nested in the subnet inside the availability zone. The front-end application communicates with the other back-end applications because they live in the same subnet. The ties, membership, and communications applications persist data in a Postgres database. The front-end application provides a topic and is a subscriber to Postgres messaging queue. So when the cache changes in one availability zone, the other application in the other availability zone is aware of the change and it updates it accordingly. We see these two applications, Stripe and SendGrid. SendGrid is a mail provider. The communications application interfaces with SendGrid to send emails and text messages. The Ties application interfaces with the Stripe intermediary to process payments. So essentially, when a user navigates to the church URL, they come into the load balancer, and the load balancer determines if they go to Zone A or Zone B. If one of these availability zones is down for some reason, the traffic will be routed to the other. Let's take a look at what the application looks like. Takes a moment on first startup as the cache has to load. But we're looking at the desktop site. Let's take a look at the mobile-friendly site. Here we see everything has a clean layout. It's easy to navigate. Now, although the images appear to be a little offset, that's not the case inside the cell phone. Sometimes the development tools aren't 100% accurate. So as you see, the site renders fine using a mobile device. In this case, it was iPhone SE. So from a desktop perspective, we'll come back. So currently, I'm not logged in, I'm just a regular user. And when we look, we see static content hosted here. All this text, these images. This listen notes is actually hosted within the iframe. So this is an example of dynamic content embedded into a static page. These spiritual insights are actually generated here on this site. So that's an example of dynamic content being hosted on this page. As we go through this demo, every time we land back at Spiritual Insights page, observe there's only one tab. That's going to change as our access increases. Here again, under Giving, observe only one link. As our access increases, that'll change as well. And here on the Tithe and Offering page, you'll wind up with another tab as our access increases. This is an example of static content. None of this is dynamic. The browser actually renders the JavaScript that provides the slideshow. And all these different projects have slideshows associated with each one. The slideshow does not render until the project is open. And as you see under the Church tab, it has a place for me to log in, which if somebody, this provides the permissions to access additional content. So let's take a look at what it looks like for a church member. You'll also notice that this application is hosted on my local host, and that's to protect sensitive information from the congregation as well as the staff. And with that being said, none of these passwords will work for you if you're copying them down. These only work on my local machine. So now I'm logged in as a church member, and you see now I have these links present. I can go to the congregation tab, and this church on my local machine only has 3 members, and they're all named Joseph Barnes. In the profile, here's my information that I can update, including my new password if I need to. So the missions page is the same. Let's go to the home. You see I have no access to click on any of these insights. If I go to the Insight tab, there's no access to another tab here, and I can't click on anything. However, if I navigate to Giving, I click Tithes and Offerings, we see I'm able to give an offering, and now I have another tab called My Giving. When I click on My Giving, it gives a report of my contributions to the church. And my other permissions remain the same for missions and the other links here. So I'm going to log out. Now, let's view the application as a pastor. So now I'm logged in as a pastor, and when I go to congregation, I can still search for them, but now I have these other 2 tabs. One allows me to invite a member via email address, where I can actually select their access level, and the other is for me to create a member that does not access a computer. Some of the older members of the church don't like using computers. And now I have this communications module, so I could actually query by first name, last name, or email, and it will render up anybody with those names. I can select all the members, some of the members, and I can create a subject, create a text, or create a message here, and I can email it, or email it and text it, or just simply text it. And I still have the other functionality that was within the profile. So the other thing that's different, I can navigate to Spiritual Insights, and now I have a new tab that says Create Insight. So I can create an insight. Now, as you see, it appears here. I can also go back to the home page, and you'll notice it updated here. So in the production setting, this actually has, this component resides in 2 availability zones, so the other front-end application within the other availability zone would have its cache updated to reflect the new insight. These items are still the same. So I go to Giving, and now you observe I have this link here, Treasurer Dashboard. In the Tithes and Offerings page, I still have the same functionality that you observed with a regular member. so I can see my giving as a pastor. And I could go to the treasurer's dashboard. Here within the treasurer's dashboard, I have a list of different tithes that have been taken in by the church. I have these interactive graphs. I could download a tithe report. And this could actually be loaded into Excel. And I have the capability of creating a manual tithe. So part of the functionality introduced here allows you to query people based on whether or not they've given a tithe. So in our scenario here, we don't have any people registered who have gave a manual tithe. And the missions piece remains the same. So all these other tabs, if we haven't gone over them, have been unchanging. Oh, there is one other piece I would like to demonstrate here. So we created this insight. Now you see I have the ability to point at and edit it. So it doesn't matter if I'm here or I'm in the spiritual insight section, I can click on it and I can type something else. Save it. And if I want to remove it, I can simply click here and click delete. So this is an example of a custom website that has dynamic content as well as static content, and it actually leverages the principle of least privilege. It's set up to be public facing, and it also has private content. Let's see how the difference between this and Longhorn's website. So Longhorn's website is primarily static. All these tabs here have static content. I guess I should call them boxes. So this piece here is actually a Facebook component embedded into static content. The only dynamic piece of this site is this form. If somebody comes to this site and goes to the Contact Us page, they fill this out. Based on their selection determines what email inbox it goes to. This site leverages PHP's functionality for sending emails. Now, let's look at how it looks from a mobile perspective. Still using iPhone SE. We see it looks clean. It's easy to navigate. And that's what we were going for. We've had, I'd say, it's probably split into thirds. A third of the people like using desktop computers, another third likes using iPads, and another third accesses it via their cell phones. So let's wrap it up. So we viewed a couple examples of custom websites and can easily identify the major differences. Static sites have files that are not dynamic but can embed dynamic components. They are the resume for your company and vital to success. Information systems incorporate elements of a static site and provide dynamic capabilities. They can either generate content to be viewed by all users or based on permissions. They can also be a valuable tool for orchestrating work or gaining insights to the performance of your business. These type of systems can also create another revenue stream for your company. Thank you for attending this demo of custom websites. This is just an example of the types of sites we build. Let your imagination run free and contact us with your great idea. We can make it happen. Please like and share this video and stay tuned for additional demos from Longhorn Software Solutions. Thank you. Have a great day.